Hello and welcome to Good Eats Happy Life. My name is Penny and this is your bonus recipe for September. It's cherry oat bars. These are one of my favorite treats to bring over to people. They are great for breakfast, they're great for an afternoon snack for your kids. They're just an all-around favorite and they're very versatile. You can use cherries, you can use apricots, you can use anything that has fruit preserves and then dried fruit. So you could even mix it up and use, let's say, cherry fruit preserves and then maybe apricots to mix up the flavors. But I like to stay true to whatever food I'm working with. And so cherries happens to be one of my favorites. So cherry oat bars for your bonus recipe. And let's go ahead and start making them. The first thing that you're going to do is prepare your pan for them. And I use a glass pan, a 9 by 13 right here. And you're going to want to spray it with your cooking spray. And I always do my cooking spray over the sink. And the reason why is we had a good friend who used their cooking spray right over their floor. And they slipped, and it was quite the story, but she was okay. But anyway, so you give it a good spray because you're not going to want anything to stick. And then what you're going to do is you're going to line it with parchment paper. So we'll do that now. I use this handy dandy chic wrap parchment paper dispenser because I hate the cheap containers. They always break on me. I don't know if you've had that, or I'll cut myself and I just despise them. So this thing is such a good alternative. Our dear friend Paulette, I say our because I'm sure many of you were in her cooking classes before. So she taught me this little tip that parchment paper is so unruly, and it really, really is. Like, you can't just set this in your pan, it's gonna go crazy, right? So she told me, show that parchment paper who's the boss, and so I do. You give it a good crunch, and now you can put it the way you want to put it. And you'll just set it right in your pan. Use 2 pieces, and the reason why is, especially with these bars, you want them to be able to come out easily. And so we will do 2 right here. That's the oven telling me that it's all nice and preheated for us. All right, now you want to give that parchment paper also a good spray, so that when you're done with these, it'll be very easy to pull them out. All right, we're going to set this aside over here, and we're going to start making the oat bars. In a bowl, large bowl, you are going to want to put 1 3/4 cups of flour, and this here is just a little less because I want to show you a good tip. And you may already know this, but it's important. This container here is for liquid measuring. Obviously, when you pour it in, things aren't going to come out. This type of measuring is flat. So when you measure, you're going to use this for dry ingredients. If you were to try to measure wet ingredients, it would overflow. And you wouldn't be able to get the right amount. So this is for dry ingredients. So I left it out to show you so I could do one more measuring amount of the flour. And you just scrape it off with the top of your knife like that. So that is 1 3/4 cups of flour. You're going to do 1 3/4 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. To that, you're going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar packed in there. I mean, it's a cold cup. I'm sorry about that. You're going to add your cinnamon, your baking powder, your salt, and then you're going to just mix that up with your whisk. I do that before I add the butter and the egg, and the reason why is it does get it nice and evenly distributed this way. I should have used maybe a slightly bigger bowl, but hey, this works just fine. Get this all whisked in here. It smells so good. There's just something about cinnamon and brown sugar that screams fall to me. I just love it. And since we're approaching fall, this is your September bonus recipe. I think it's just perfect smells for us here. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to do our cherries mixture. Super simple, 1 jar of cherry preserves. And this brand, it happens to be one of my very favorites. 2 reasons why. I actually love the jars. I use them for all kinds of things. And then I don't know, they're always so good. So this is my favorite. So literally, you just use the whole jar, scoop it into a bowl. Definitely gonna save this jar. And then our cherries. And our cherries, you want to chop them. You're going to use half a cup of cherries. Not super fine, but you don't want to have a whole cherry in your mouth with these bars. And you also want to make sure, especially if you're using cherries, that you don't have any pits. So literally, I just run my knife through them and get them into some smaller pieces. And your preserves have cherries already in them, but this gives it a little bit more texture, and I definitely think flavor. All right, we're gonna scoop these guys into our preserves and give them a good mix. Whoa, nice and sticky and yummy. Super easy here, easy to mix those up. All right, now I'm gonna rinse my hands because I'm a little bit sticky. One thing I love about a tip that I learned again from Paulette was to always have kitchen towels close at hand. So we are going to put the wet ingredients now into our bars and mix it all up. So you're going to have 2 sticks of melted butter. You pour that right in there. Who doesn't like unsalted melted butter? Whoa. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then the recipe calls for 1 large egg. It just so happens that I have these small dinky eggs. If you're using farm eggs too, sometimes they're not large. They might be smaller. So you just use your judgment. Most people do buy large eggs. Somehow we got medium, and they seem really small to me. So you're just going to use, I'm using 2 because they're a binder, and I want to make sure I have enough. And they're at room temperature. And you're going to lightly beat them and then put them in the mixture here. So I just use my fork and then I pull them in the bowl. And then we're going to mix all that up. Whoops, and try not to make a huge mess. No guarantees. I'm going to use a spoon here. My whisk. It always drives me nuts when it gets stuck in here like this. I'm just not patient enough for it. Alright, so we'll get this all mixed up in here. Nothing too complicated here. They are really easy and quick to make. It's like I said before, it's like one of the easiest recipes, and it is definitely a crowd pleaser. I took these to the office last month. I have a marketing job, and I took them into the office, and this one gal, she's so sweet, she says, "These are so good, and I dislike cherries so much, but I love these." So I thought that was just an awesome compliment. So now my hands are clean, and one thing about this recipe is you are going to use your hands. So we're going to bring over our pan here. Because we're going to take half of this mixture and put it in the pan. Right now I'm just making sure I got it all incorporated. You just want to make sure it gets in there. And I do think your hands are the best tools. I mean, it just does the work the way you need it to do it, I think. All right, that is all incorporated. So all we do here next is take half of this mixture and we're going to put it in our pan. And we are going to just smash it down to fill the bottom. These are the bottom of our bars. I think I'm just going to be a little bit more generous here. Ooh, I wonder how blackberries would taste with blackberry preserves with cherry fruit. I think that would be delicious. Just saying. All right. Once we get that in there, we're going to take our cherry preserve mixture and we are just going to put it right on there. And you want to leave about a half an inch around the bottom mixture. Nothing too fancy smancy here. Then we're going to take the rest of our mixture and we're going to kind of dollop it on top. That might be a lot there. What's going to happen is this is going to come over it when it cooks, when it bakes in the oven, and kind of make a nice cover over your bar. So then you're just going to lightly press it down. I'm going to wash my hands and we're going to put it in the oven and then we're going to wait 30 minutes. So, give my hands a good wash. And the oven's been preheating to 350. When we started, you heard the oven go off. Now we're just going to plop these guys in there. And we'll pull them out in just a few. Alright, so it's time to take our cherry oat bars out of the oven. One thing I didn't say is we put them in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. So they're golden brown. Oh, it's hot in here. Alright, then once you take them out, you are just going to let them cool for about an hour, and then you'll cut them. It makes about 24 bars, and they are delicious. One tip I wanted to suggest, if you are gluten-free, this recipe does call for regular flour. I'm going to try it before you try it with almond flour, and we'll see if that makes a good bar or not. But I think that's a good solution if you're gluten-free, and I think it would work with these bars. So I hope you make it. I hope you try them. I hope you like it. And I will see you next time.